Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of On Point in West Point. I believe we're on episode 18 and we are still on day 5. It's 11:30 a.m. and Emily and I are about to take you out to the military base because I've gotten thoroughly disgusted with the fact that we are still using a backpack with only a quantity of 19 and we are limited to fanny packs and other very small items for carrying our gear. And personally, I have a preferred setup that I like to use. I like to have a chest rig or something on the front of my chest that I use for a tool belt, and then I like to have a tactical belt or something small and similar to that on my back that I use as a mobile first aid kit. And the reason I do this is because the weight reduction allows you to carry these things with you at all times, and they're extremely useful. If you have a first aid kit with you on the go, if you get scratched or bitten, you can disinfect your wounds immediately, which helps prevent you from getting sick. It won't help prevent the zombie infection, but for my purposes, I turn mortality from the zombie infection off because I feel like there's just enough ways to die in this game anyways. So she'll get sick from being bitten, but she won't get the zombie infection, or she'll get the zombie infection but she'll live. And so it really helps if you can disinfect your wounds, because sometimes you can prevent that secondary infection that can happen. And I'm moving a little carefully because this weather is not so good and this vehicle is not so good. So, and the other thing that I like to do is I like to take my tools with me on the go. And if you're carrying a toolbox, there's not enough of a weight reduction. It has to be in one hand. But if you have some sort of chest rig, it goes here and it's on your body, and so it has a natural weight reduction, and you don't ever have to switch hands. You just have it on you at all times, which is extremely convenient. And that means that if you're out and you suddenly decide to break down stuff, you have everything you need to do that. All right, so you'll notice I've stopped here. The reason I've stopped here is because this is the bridge, and we are already seeing the beginning of the pileup, and this pileup you cannot get through because these berms in the middle prevent you from passing. So what I want to do is I want to mark on my map the start of this roadblock so I know where it starts. And this is also the marker for where you pass around it. And you want to take a left here and go onto these railroad tracks. And then you're just going to take the railroad tracks up across the river. And then depending on how long this accident pileup is, determines when you will get off. And it looks like it ends here with, is that a water truck or a gas truck? That's a gas truck, folks. So we are going to have a look at whether or not we can salvage that. It's a little off plan, but look, a key in the glove box. We're just going to add that to our belt, and we're going to swap seats and see if we can get the truck going. All right, now this is a little tight. There's a barrier behind and a barrier in front, so we're going to be fiddling around trying to get this truck from being wedged where it is. And as you can see, I'm making very little progress, but if I can get it, I'm using the pole to sweep her around a bit. No, I need her back in to go around more. So this is going to be slow. Sometimes if you're stuck, the only thing you can do is use a pole or something else to swing your end around. Otherwise, you're just wedged in. And see, I'm going very slowly but I am turning, which is what I want because I need to free up this wheel. There's just not enough maneuvering room. So it's a little bit of a slow hack, but it works. Now we might be clear enough to back it up a little bit more and clear this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive this to the other side of the bridge because we certainly don't want to take this truck up to the military encampment, and we don't want to leave it on the bad side of the bridge where we can't get to it. And a lot of times these trucks have a good horsepower, so when we come back there's a good chance that I'll be able to attach the taxi to it and pull the taxi back to our safe house. And just for fun, since we're running, we can try to wander through here and see what this mess looks like. And see, I don't even know if I could get past here by walking. Okay, I had to hop the fence because I couldn't get by. And it did that automatically because of how bad the location is. As pileups go, this isn't bad. I should be able to come back with a Humvee or something later and pull all these out of the way to clear the bridge. But for the moment, they're in the way. And you know what? I just realized I don't think I grabbed the sledgehammer. I don't think I grabbed the sledgehammer, and we can't get into the military encampment without it. So, actually, change of plans. And this happens a lot with me, and I apologize. My memory isn't always the best. I have fibromyalgia, and so I get quite a bit of brain fog, and occasionally I'll cover the same territory, and I just ask that you guys be a little kind and bear with me if I do that. Or feel free to say something if you notice that I have repeated myself too much, or feel free to ask if there's something you want me to cover that I haven't covered. Looks like I need to back up a bit more to get these two hooked together, but since we're heading back, we may as well take the truck to the safe house. So maybe there are reasons why things happen. Come on. Start. There we go. We obviously are going to need to do some serious repairs to this truck at some point in the near future. Why is it not letting me... Is it because it's a gas truck, or is it because I'm not lined up correctly? Usually you can pull any vehicle with any other vehicle. Usually. You know what? Let's do this the easy way. And sometimes the trucks are a little odd. You have to get behind them just right, and you have to almost give yourself no room. There we go. Because the size of the truck makes it look like they're further apart than they are. Okay. So now the taxi's hooked up. Let's take this back. Oh, there we go. Too bad this wasn't one of the big carrying trucks. That would have made our trip out to the military encampment much more efficient. But unfortunately, beggars can't be choosers, and it's just at a point now where we absolutely need the gear that we are hopefully going to find out there. I know the gear spawns there because I've seen it in other games, but whether or not it will show up in this game is anybody's guess. And the gear that I'm going to show you comes from Brita's armor mod. There is also a weapons mod if you happen to really like guns. I have several friends who really enjoy the Brita's weapon mod, and it uses the, I think, Gunfighter Arsenal mod as a base, so you need to install both of those two pieces. But I tend to be more of a melee fighter, so oops. Slowed down a bit. Okay. You know what? Let's just turn the truck off and can leave it here, it doesn't matter. Where it is for now, I can always mess around with parking it later. Alright. Well, that was a great find, because with the power still on, when we return tonight, we can hit a gas station and we can fill that truck up. Depending on, it might not have a large capacity, unfortunately. Yeah, I knew we had left the sledgehammer behind. Alright. We have a bad weapon, but we also have a good weapon. So we should be able to get in and out of here and survive this trip in fairly good order. One can hope. Oops. Just got under the wrong seat. There we go. Alright. Now let's try this again. Sometimes you just have to adjust on the fly, because you find something, and so, you know, it's not perfect because we had to come back, which wasn't really part of the plan, but we did get the gas truck back, which we were going to need to do anyways, and now we have the sledgehammer, so we're ready to go. When we come back, we're going to have to kill that zombie. I don't want to waste too much time. We're going to wind up having to clear the road as we go, which is not going to be favorable. It's going to slow us down. But it needs to be done. Otherwise, the road will just be a mess. I don't believe in leaving zombies on the roads, because they come from the woods anyways, and what winds up happening is you wind up with them grouping up in big gangs. And sooner or later, you'll see me having to deal with big gangs, but the longer we can stave that off, the better. Alright, and I'm having some slowdown, which I apologize for. All this rain tends to slow my computer down. And there's some more wrecks in the road here, so I'm gonna mark these, because if I'm coming through here fast, then I'm going to wind up accidentally running into them because they're in the middle of the road. I tend to ride the middle of the road so I can go in either direction to avoid zombies or wrecks, and if a wreck is in the middle of the road, then I'm liable to hit it. Especially given that sometimes my graphics will glitch. When my graphics glitches like that, I have a bit of lag, so let's kill this one. I know there's one off in the woods, but we'll get him if he comes out. Oh, come on. Well, that was not good. Don't tell me she's tiring already. Do I have vitamins with me? I don't. That's gonna make trying to get through the military encampment interesting. Could pull off the road somewhere and give her a quick hour nap, which will help get rid of the drowsy debuff she's got going. But drowsy is okay. It's when she gets tired that's the problem. However, since we don't have any vitamins, we don't have anything to offset drowsy, and sooner or later drowsy will become tired. This bat's about to die. If you saw me blinking down here, it's because I have the weapon indicator mod, and the weapon indicator mod lets me know with a nice little overlay what the condition of my weapon is. And as you can see, it's got a sliver of red at the bottom, which means it's almost totally broken. The indicator mod shows an overlay that is green, yellow, and red, depending on the condition of your weapon. And to get to the encampment, all you have to do is just really stay on this road. Just stay on the road and don't veer off of it. And the encampment is before the clover leaf, so you don't even have to worry about which direction you're going to go on the highway either. I knew I saw another one up here. Might help if I actually aimed. This one dead. This one is dead too, but doesn't have anything I care about. Okay. I don't want to run her too much because that'll contribute to her being tired. Oops. Here's another one. I'm not going to go off-road to get them, but if I can keep the road clear, then I'm going to do that. And meanwhile, I'll loot for certain things. And I have to be careful because I don't want to take up too much bag space or trunk space until we get to the military encampment, because there's going to be quite a bit of gear at the military encampment that I'm going to want to grab. If we can find combat pants, those are the best armored item that you're going to find for legs in the game. So alright, and you want to be careful. You noticed I just swapped weapons, but when I did that, let me see if I can show you this in the cart, it took it off my back. So I want to make sure that I attach it to my back, and then I know I can put it on and off with a hotkey. I tend to like doing stuff in the car because it gives you a bit of safety. I don't like to stand around and look at my map or stand around and switch my weapons. I prefer to hop into the car where it's nice and safe to do those things. And then all you have to do is make sure that if you see zombies coming, you move your vehicle so that you're not prone to them trying to pull you out of the car. And they will try to do that, especially if you have a broken window or a broken door or an open door. And if one of the things I've noticed is, especially in the large trucks from the M35A2 truck mod, when you get in the car, if you try to move or look at your map, immediately as you're getting into the car, it will interrupt the animation for closing the door, and therefore your door will not close all the way. And this happens in the Humvees, the big trucks, the little trucks. It doesn't seem to happen in the standard vehicles that come with the base game, but in the mods it seems to happen. And then that means that you're riding around with your door open, and the zombies can reach in and bite you, and you'll take damage, or they can try to pull you out. I don't know if they actually do pull you out or not. You know what? This one's got a duffel bag. I don't think the duffel bag has any more weight allowance than the backpack, though. I think the duffel bag's still 19 as well. Come on. Just grab this. I know I saw another one coming in from this direction. I wasn't going to stop and kill them, but the fact that she was holding a duffel bag intrigued me. Oh, an annotated map. We'll look at that later. Alrighty, let's keep going here. So far, we've been lucky to find zombies only in groups of 1 or 2. And just as a side note, the lockets cannot be broken down by the recycling mod. I don't know why. So grabbing them is pretty useless. They're just an inventory clog, so. Alright, you guys, so let's end this here so it doesn't get too long. And we'll continue up the road and hit the military encampment in the next episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this. I know it's been a little fumbly and we've kind of had a few false starts and stops, but we did manage to get a fuel truck in the last episode, and now we're on the way, and hopefully the road ahead will continue to be relatively clear of zombies, because now we're tired and I'm going to try to get her in and out of there this afternoon. So we'll see how that goes. You guys have a great evening, and I will see you again for another episode of Project Zomboid on Point in West Point. From Emily and I, you guys have a terrific evening. Bye-bye.